this is the topics that you're familiar with, and I want to focus quite a lot on introducing and practicing online shopping. Now, online shopping is a very wide brief, okay, because online shopping can be for your food, it can be for items, okay, so it's a very big topic. How to open an online bank account, and we'll get you to be thinking about that, and that has its own steps that we have to go through. And give you examples of shopping and banking apps. Now, I'm going to be using terms like apps, and I'm going to be using something called the browser. Is everybody familiar on the difference? So apps means we have to go to our App Store or Google Play, and we download a special application, which is quite easy to use once you've downloaded it. When I talk about the browser, it means you go www, or you search it, and it will begin with a www, and you're on the website, okay? So if there's any terminology, just stop us, because that's what we're here to clarify for you. And I think the really important thing I want for all of us is how we continue to practice online safety, because really the big aim of my session today is for you to feel secure about your online safety when you're trying shopping or banking or anything that's less familiar to you. Okay, so to begin, so what I'd like you to do, just for 2 or 3 minutes with your group, is do you shop or bank online? And if yes, what do you like about it? And if no, what are your reasons against? Okay, so just share your experiences together for about 2 or 3 minutes. Begin with a positive. What do you like about it? Anybody?
Choice.
Sorry?
Choice.
Choice, okay. Choice, other choice for online shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, other positive things?
Convenience.
Perfect, yeah. So we've got
Delivered
choice,
the next day.
convenience.
Delivered the next day.
Okay, so the delivery part, perfect. Any other aspects?
Okay.
For shopping online? Well, I think from my experience recently, it's been limited stock available physically in a store. And I'm constantly pushed onto a website that says, fine, if you want this particular product for your house, but you won't see it. You can do a click and collect. Is everybody familiar with click and collect? So I wanted a few repair things for my house, and I was shocked that I couldn't find any shops that actually physically had the product. So I was forced to go online, okay, do a click and collect. And that was the only way I could make these purchases. I was quite shocked. Any other aspects? No? Okay. And what about online banking? Anybody experiences with online banking? Good. Okay.
Fair number.
Fair number. Any, what positives?
Marta, I can look into my account anytime.
Okay,
See
so-
the balance, see.
Yep, so accessing your account online 24 hours. Good. Other points? Yeah?
Most of the banks are closed, so it's so convenient to have an app on your mobile.
Yeah, I think that's one of our biggest things now is we don't have the banks physically on the high street anymore, and now this is what we're encouraged to do. Yeah, other? Yeah?
I think they've taken away our freedom by closing the banks and where we get our money, you know. And I just think we're just forced to have an app. And I don't like being forced, but I've also got one, but I don't like it.
You don't like it, okay, and you feel forced into it.
I don't like being coerced into something, no.
Yeah, and the choice is becoming less and less.
That's
Other
right.
positive, negatives? Okay, Salim, your positives, why do you love that?
Yeah, I think you know, your answers pretty much capture what we would sort of think of as being, you know, the benefits of online, convenience, ease of use, all that kind of stuff. But that's a good point you make, you know, that sometimes you feel like you're being forced to do this sort of thing. So it makes sense to use these tools and these apps when it gives you a benefit. I think that's the key thing. And then you also have to look at the negatives. I mean, when we ask who does online banking, I think there's about a third of the room that put their hands up. So for those of you who don't use it, why don't you use it, I guess is the obvious question. Any
I think
ideas?
it was Phyllis's.
Is the fear of, you get it wrong? Or
Yeah.
You're pressing the wrong button and...
Okay, so you're insecure about using it,
Yeah.
okay? And then
Okay.
Phyllis,
That's
what
what
was,
I said, insecurity.
but
Yeah.
insecurity for you or for the system?
Scam.
Scams,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a perfectly reasonable response. You know, when you go into a bank, you've got someone there, the teller behind the counter helping you through your transaction. When you're on your app, you're on your own, and you, of course, you have to worry about scams and so on. So you do need to be aware of what you're doing when you're online. And that's as true about shopping as it is about banking. When you're online, you do have to be aware of scams, and that's just the way the world we live in, unfortunately.
So through the session, I'm going to be showing you ways of feeling more secure. We do have a workshop, Toni, that covers security scams later.
Yes, we've got two scams workshop. One is more about being careful with your email and not to be scammed when you're using email, and the other scams workshop is about all sorts of general scams for our age group, over 55s, we'll put it like that. Okay, so,
That's older people.
yeah.
So I'll be making references today, but just remember, we do have more sessions, which we all benefit from, constantly being reminded about our online security. So let's start shopping.
So I think you've covered
Yeah,
all of these
covered
things.
all that.
So
Yeah,
I think
and-
you mentioned 24% lapses. I think a number of people you mentioned high street bank closures, and then the things you can do.
And transferring money is another option, but we'll look closer at that when we're on to online banking. Yeah?
One thing that I found finding a bit of a pain, if you do online banking, as I've done for years, if you get the app, for example NatWest, when I log on online, I've got to go onto the app to prove that I'm logging on before I can actually complete before I actually can log on to online, which I
Because
find.
you prefer going on to the browser.
I'd rather, yes.
You'd rather use online.
It's like a double, you have to do a double entry.
I'll quickly cover that one actually. So there's a difference between online banking and using the banking app. So Gillian said right at the beginning, we're going to talk about apps and using the browser. And banks don't like you to use online banking. So online banking 5-10 years ago meant you going to www.natwest.com and then logging in with your password and your secret number and so on, and often your customer number. They're moving away from that. They want you to use the app. And the reason for that is it's much easier for them to secure the app. The online banking is not as secure. So when we talk about online banking, we mean using your computer and going to via the browser, using the app, typically on your phone or your tablet, using the bank's app. And the bank actually puts some additional security controls around the app, which is why they prefer you to use the app. If you go online, they want you to check via the app, because that's the only way they can verify that it's you. Otherwise, they've got no way of knowing who's logging in. If you just log in via the browser, they don't really know who it is. They're just relying on your password. So that's the big difference to just be aware of.
So app is better than online, better than...
It is,
online.
yeah. That didn't used to be the case, but that changed about 5 years ago, and that's why the banks are really heavily promoting their apps.
Especially if you have got facial recognition or your digital print, or you use some way
Exactly.
of
Yeah.
identifying yourself biologically. What's biometric?
Yeah, so there's lots of interesting points that you're making, and what I found when I moved from the browser online, it took me a little time to get confident doing it. So I was on my app at home in that same environment that I was doing the browser with. So I kind of thought, okay, I'm not under pressure of any kind, whether it's accessing it. And once I did it a few times at home, in that environment, I thought I can do this. You know, and yesterday at the train station, I transferred payment to a girlfriend who was standing right there. Train door arrived, money was transferred, and she just stood there going, wow. And we didn't miss the train. So that was quite fun. Okay, so I'm a big shopper of food online. Anybody like shopping for food online? Oh, Toni? Yeah, a few of us? Okay. Would you like to look at online food shopping, or would you rather go to, is it Nods Heads, or would you rather go to John Lewis and go shopping? We'll start with the browser. Okay, now, go to your we searched.
So again, we're going online here. We're using the browser to go to johnlewis.com. There is a John Lewis app as well, and it's very similar. There isn't a security implication with shopping as there is with banking, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. You can use one or the other. So when thinking about passwords for shopping, you want them to be reasonably secure, but you know, it's not such a big risk with shopping as there is with banking. Yeah.
Could I just mention that I was in Waitrose yesterday, and for a couple of weeks I've been buying, you know, the special offers and using my loyalty card. It hasn't worked. And so I kind of inquired about this. You've got to have an app. You cannot use your loyalty card anymore in
Oh, I
Waitrose.
didn't know that.
You do not get your bargain.
Let's go back to, going back onto the John Lewis account. So at the beginning it said sign in. If it says sign in, what is that telling me?
You don't have to sign in, you can go straight in without having an account. Somebody has just done that here.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
let's
you
just.
can continue.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't have an account.
So I just want to get the vocabulary. So signing in means you've already registered. Okay, so you've done this previously. And then you're going to put in your email and your password. If it says need help signing in, for example, people sometimes forget their password and they will say, I need to reset my password. Are people familiar with what happens when you reset your password? So it's secure because you're in communication with John Lewis saying, here's my email address, I've forgotten my password, and they will then give you the option to reset your password. Okay? And that's all secure because it's just between you and John Lewis. If you don't have an account, you can create an account. Okay? And by creating an account, it's going to put in my email address and then the password. And can you see what they're suggesting for password? So minimum, how many characters? 8. Okay, 60 is quite excessive. I don't think I would encourage you to do 60. Okay, and then one number at least. One uppercase, meaning yeah, capital, bold, yeah, capital, and one lowercase. And I tend to use punctuation, so depending how I'm feeling, it might be exclamation marks or dollar things, okay? Okay, and then it will always encourage you to subscribe to things. I would generally say no, okay? And then it's going to go to create account, okay? If I create the account, it will then ask for more details. Already have an account, I can quickly sign in. Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is go to the browser of John Lewis.
So here we are. For the benefit of those of you who weren't in the workshop, I'm going to give a quick demonstration of how you would use the John Lewis website to buy something online. Okay, so first of all, we're going to do a search for John Lewis. And here you can see it's come up with John Lewis and the logo that we recognise, and it's the web address is listed underneath, and it's HTTPS. It starts with the S. We talked about this in the workshop. That means it's a secure website. The S is for secure. So we're on a safe website, and from here you can choose which department you want to look at. Okay, here we are still in Google. We are in our browser, and I'm going to go to John Lewis, and you'll see we arrive on their homepage. Their homepage is a good starting point. It's very easy to find your way around from here. This is all the things they have on their homepage, so on and so forth. They feature on Barber tartans, some products they're featuring, and then down the bottom, ask for help, find out about their delivery, etc., etc. And you can also download the John Lewis app from here, from the App Store if you're using an Apple phone, or from Google Play if you're using an Android. And up here at the top they have the most important things like how to find the stores, If you've got an account, it will show up in there. And this is your shopping basket. So anything you purchase, once you've clicked on add to cart or add to basket or add to trolley, things will show up in your shopping basket. And in the menu, we've got all the different departments and shop brand services, etc. Anyway, today we are looking for garden table and chairs. In fact, I think we'll start off in the gardening department. Right, so let's go in the garden. Garden furniture sets, that's just what we're looking at. And you'll see it's come up with 234 different items. Now we could sit here and look through all of them, but instead we're going to apply a filter, and we want garden dining sets, and we don't want to spend more than £300. Oh, look at that, 90 to 830. Okay, so now it's only going to show us 18 results. And here's one for less than £300, which has 4 seats, which is just what we need. But let's see what else they have. They have 2-seater pink, 2-seater for £509, 2-seater for £639, which is more expensive. There's another one, 4-seater, £458. No, I think I prefer that one. 4-seater. Okay, so we've looked at what they're offering and we've decided this will do for us. That's absolutely fine. So let's click on it, and that's giving us more information. It's had 38 reviews. We can have a look at the reviews if you want. Most of them have given 5, 4, 3 stars. One has given 1 star. You can click on them if there's more details, product specification, if you want to know the sizes. It takes 20 minutes to assemble. Those are the dimensions, etc. I'm going to go back now. So here we are. This is the one we want. So now I'm going to add it to my basket. Basket is when you actually want to buy it. Add to wish list is if you want to think about it. So I clicked add to basket, and it says one of these sets is added to my basket. And you can see up here, the little shopping basket is now showing the number 1. They're trying to sell us more products. They're saying, have you thought about having some cushions to go with it? And I thought, wow, I think some cushions would be a very good idea. And let's go for these green ones. Add to basket. And let's have a look at what this colour is called, Willow, and it's £10. And I will have 4 to go with my 4 chairs. So I'll click add to basket. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's close this and have a look at our basket again. So our basket should now say 5 items. Yes, so we've got the table and chair set and 4 cushions. That's 5 items. So here, look, you'll see with the cushions, you can choose. Say you want 2 more cushions to go on your other chairs. You just add them here. Or if you don't want to order that many, you can just reduce the number you've ordered. One foldable 4-seater dining set. I've ordered 1. If you have a promotional code, you can add it here. The total of my purchase is 319. So if I'm sure I want it, it's showing me all the different ways I can pay here. If you do Klarna, you can pay in installments. I'm going to continue to check out. Another picture of a padlock showing you on a secure site. Here we're at the checkout. You can sign in now if you've already got an account, or you can do a guest checkout. Let's do the guest checkout. And continue as guest. Shows me I've got 5 items in my basket. If I want to check what they are, I just click view, and there it's showing me my 1 table and chairs and my 4 cushions. Done. To close it up again. I can't collect my order. Name. And a phone number. Use this address, please. Save the address. Yes, why not? Because I'll use it again. So here you can choose your delivery. And you choose Union Food Delivery will let you know a 2-hour delivery window. So if you choose standard delivery, they'll just let you know what time they're coming. So you choose the date you want it delivered. Let's go for Monday. Any special instructions? Lift the stairs. Hope the driver. Deliver to the back door, please. Okay. And different choices for delivery. I don't want to include a gift message. So that's sort of the delivery. Now we go into payment. And it's going to deliver here. Your order will come in 2 deliveries. They're dispatched from different warehouses. Here's your email address. Add a promotional code if you've got one, or a gift card or voucher. And then you go ahead, and when you click buy with Apple Pay or pay with your credit card, PayPal. Once you've done that, click if you do not want us to use your email address for inspiration. And once you click buy, that's it, your order will have been placed. I'm not going to click buy because I don't want this right now, but now you've seen how it's done. Thank you for watching.
Can I ask a question? Yeah, cookies. When you reject all cookies, does that alter the functioning of what you're about to do?
I don't believe so, but
So,
Salim might.
all the
I
cookies
don't
do.
want cookies.
Right, so cookies are a funny thing really. So mostly they're safe. There's no scam risk with cookies. It's just the way that the website keeps track of customers.
Yeah.
So they want to know if you're a returning customer. One of the things they can do, if you have an account and you come back, they can put in your email address, so you don't have to type that in. So if you have a cookie that says, oh yeah, I recognise Salim, he's been here before, I know his email, I won't bother asking that again. I just want you to prove that it's you by putting in your password.
So is that necessary, cookies?
So they're not necessary. If you don't accept cookies, you won't get some of that smooth integration that you get with cookies. Cookies just make things work smoother because the website recognises you and knows something about you.
But they give you choices, necessary and then...
Yeah, do you want all of them? So some of them are used for marketing and adverts. So you'll all be aware that if you go to Johnny's and browse toasters, for the next 3 days you'll see adverts of toasters everywhere, right? We've all seen that. And that's because of cookies. Cookies keep a record of what you've looked at. And so some people think, well, that's a privacy issue. I might not want the world to know I'm looking for a new toaster. And that's the kind of thing cookies do. Cookies just keep a little note of what you did last.
But do they not send your stuff to other people so you get all the other garbage in?
So shops like this probably don't. Most stores won't. They'll share it within their own. So waiters will share with Johnny's and back and forth. But if you go on Google and search for something, then they will share it. That's how Google make their money. Google make their money by finding customers who are looking for something and sharing that with advertisers. So advertisers will see that what you've been looking for. that's where perhaps people worry about cookies. But they're benign. They're not a risk. They're just maybe an annoyance for some people. But if you don't have them, that doesn't stop the adverts, by the way. It just means the adverts won't be targeted. So if you looked at toasters and you said, I don't want a cookie, you might next see an advert for a lawnmower. That's the only thing.
Okay, how was your John Lewis shopping experience? Miserable. Why, Alan? Sorry? Too expensive. Alan went straight to the garden furniture and wasn't happy with, what was it, £417 for some chairs?
You can filter, so you can choose.
You can filter. Okay, were you able to get online and have a look? That's the most important thing, okay? What else did you find about it? Did it give you information about the products? Okay, because that's one of the advantages. Yeah. So did you understand the idea with the filter? Because John Lewis has so many products, you could just go, I only want a dishwasher between £300 and £400, or you want a slim dishwasher or a large dishwasher. So instead of having to scroll through 99 dishwashers, you could just filter it by the make or the price or what other features, and that will work for anything. So your garden furniture, Alan, you could put in a price filter so that you weren't faced with such expensive furniture. Now, does anyone have the John Lewis app?
Yes,
You just downloaded it. Okay. I'm going to see if I have a John Lewis app. Okay. Okay, and can you see it's come up in my search? And can you see the sort of cloud and the arrow down? So it means I need to download it, which is what it's doing right now.
If you want to,
And so for Android users, if you have got the app, you'll find it in your app store. If you haven't got the app, you can go to the Play Store and download it the same way.
Okay.
So if anyone wants help downloading it, we can do that now.
So it's just taking a little bit of time. Okay, so can you now go to your App Store if you have an Apple phone or your Google Play and see if you can find the John Lewis app?
So do you want the app?
Okay. You look like happy shoppers. Okay. I think the happiest shopper we have is Bruce, who has the most experience of shopping. Bruce, tell them all your uses for online shopping.
Well, I mean, I very rarely leave the house, so I have everything delivered from, toothpaste, to food, books, food supplements, everything. And because I'm always at home, there's never a problem. When the man delivers it, he knocks at the door. It's not like he leaves it on the porch, and then when you come home, someone's stolen it. Which actually is a consideration if you live in a dodgy area. That if you're going to order online, you can use either click and collect, or at some places they have these big multi-box
lockers. Have you seen the lockers in some of the shops?
How
So
do you minimise the delivery charges?
it minimizes the delivery charges, and I use the local post office or
There's a
my.
question, how?
Oh, sorry.
How do you minimize, if everything is being delivered and everything has a delivery charge?
Not if you're on Amazon Prime. You can order it on Amazon Prime, and I think you pay, is it £7.99 a month? And then there's no delivery charge. But obviously you need to order more than one or two things.
Or use click and collect.
Or use click and
Yeah.
collect.
And that's
Or,
free.
But there's a minimum for that as well, quite often.
but sometimes you'll have an option where if you put it into a delivery, like the post office or a local shop that has the lockers for Amazon particularly.
Tesco has them.
Tesco has them.
The big Tesco at 3 and 5.
And I think from my experience, it's usually free because they know somebody's going to be there. So there's no repeat that they're going to have to deliver. So I'm not an Amazon Prime user, but I've used that option to have a free delivery. And around my neighborhood, it's Cartridge World has a locker, and I just use that as my destination for my parcel. and I don't need to pay a delivery charge, and I don't need to be an Amazon Prime member. So
Really good tip, if you're using those lockers, is that Power League has a whole load of lockers and you can park. So Power League opposite the big Tesco's, you drive in, walk through the entranceway and out the back, and there are hundreds of lockers and they're never ever full.
Okay.
So if you're returning something, those are really good lockers to use.
And they're different size
All
lockers?
different types of lockers, lockers galore. at
Is that
Power
just
League.
Amazon or is that other?
They've just got everything, and I have no idea why they have, but it's really useful because you can park.
Is everybody familiar with this
Power League
magic
is-
word? Imagine you're coming down Colney Hatch Lane, just before the North Circular. You turn left, and it's Power League is a football pitches that are lit. And who knew they had lockers there that you could.
Well, there are lockers at the petrol station at in East Finchley. If you know the Wellington, they call it the Wellington. I don't know why. But
Just the
if you go up the high road past the station, straight on up, like loads of buses go there. There's
The
a
Esso
petrol station in the Esso station in the middle of the road. They've got lots of lockers as well.
So that's another option, or going into the store to click and collect. Somebody was asking about, well, this is called Apple Wallet, but you have
Google Pay.
Google Pay,
Yeah.
because that's what it's called. And it's a way of storing your cards. So these are the cards that I have stored, and they have my shop cards, which I find really convenient, and then this is my banking world I've showed you. And if I go to view expired passes, it will also show that I've been able to store train tickets and airline tickets and things like that.
Does anyone here use Wallet?
Any
Yeah.
kind of wallet?
You've got it on here. You've got it on your phone. So all modern phones have a wallet. And
Just
you can
like we
store
have a
cards on it.
wallet, yeah?
So I just looked it up and it says, allow wallet to use your location. Why does it need my location?
The wallet says
It's
that.
really you when
Yeah.
you're paying for something. You are
Yeah.
wherever.
Because the bank can verify when you're making a transaction. So dodgy transactions are identified by something that's unusual. One of the things that's unusual is if suddenly someone made a purchase in Poland when you're here, so they want to know where you are. Yeah.
How do I aid? I've got a banking.
Ah.
Yeah, no, a banking wallet.
Ah.
How do I add wallet?
You can add a card to it. So there's two ways of paying when you shop online. So when you have a shopping app, so if you have a John Lewis app, you can store your card details with the shop. So now when you go back to John Lewis, you can use your card from within the app. I tend not to do that. Just as Jen just said, I use the wallet. I keep my card in my wallet, and I pay using Google Pay or Apple Pay. That's almost the same thing. So when you go to the shop, instead of having to remember all your card details, you can just pay using the wallet, and the wallet will take the details from your card, which is stored securely on your phone. So it's a very secure way of keeping your credit card on your phone and make that payment.
So how do you add?
Oh, we could show you. We could show you how to add a
We'll do
card.
that on the
We can
Tuesday
do-
sessions.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, I got the John Lewis. So I'm just going to my app store, John. And the first thing they tell me is, what does that mean, update now? I'm on the app, what's it telling me? Why do I need to update? I haven't been using it. So before I can go forward, I have to update it, and then it will take a little bit of time to load. So sometimes if you haven't been using an app frequently or doing all your updates, it will just give you that extra step that you have to do. Now it's ready, I can open. So there's your question that you were asking, Natalie, about cookies. So you can also choose to reject cookies, manage which ones are used while you browse. Okay, so allow all, reject all, manage preference. What do you think my first choice is?
Reject all.
Reject all, okay? And then it will say, do you want to track activities? And I say, ask app not to track. Okay, so I've already done those things that you were
That's what I do now.
concerned about. And then I can continue with the shopping. So this session now has got you shopping, whether you're shopping for food, whether you're shopping for items. Also, don't forget you can be shopping for train tickets, airline tickets. You know, these are all ways of purchasing online. Okay. A little bit about the security. Do you feel more secure understanding how the apps work and how the websites work? Questions? Do you feel better, Phyllis, a little bit? Good, okay. As I said, we're going to have 2 more sessions. If I just go to an online, give me an online shopping site. Sorry.
White company, I'm trying to find.
Okay, white company. White, so I'm putting in white company, and automatically it's showing me the things I want to see. Reject advertising cookies, okay? And so we've got the, now if I look at this, what would make me feel secure, Salim? I'm only seeing the dot.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So when you go to a store and shop, you know, if you're going to a trusted store, a store you know, then things are pretty safe. But you've got to be careful you're not on a site that looks like the trusted store. And that's unusual. It's unlikely to happen with a big brand store, I should imagine. So there used to be this little padlock sign that told you you're on a secure site. All the phone manufacturers have changed, so now they won't let you go to an unsecure site. Yeah, do you see this got the S there? Actually, when you did that, you can see it's got the S. The S tells you it's a secure site. That's what the S actually means. It's encrypted.
What
so
did
all
you
the
type in?
sorry.
What did she type in?
When you went to type in the address on that top line,
Yeah.
it just shows you the bit that you don't normally need to type this bit. You just type in johnlewis.com.
Yeah.
But in front of that is this other little bit that the phone fills in for you. https://www. And if you don't have the HTTPS, if you don't have an S, you just have HTTP, that's an unsecure site. You should never make a payment on an unsecure site.
So how do you go from that to get the HS?
Well, because now all sites, all reputable companies only use HTTPS. You'll find there are some sites which are not secure, and typically they're not businesses, they're private entities. Some academic sites aren't secure because it costs money to actually upgrade to the secure site, and some organisations don't have the money to do that.
What's
There it is. It's there.
Oh, I can see.
Click on that. Just hover over that name again. Let's just see. Does it automatically put the S in? Yeah, so it's automatically put the S in.
So I just tap.
Yeah.
I just touch
So
that
there isn't.
bar.
Yeah. So Iceland, like most stores, will only offer you a secure shopping experience. Nowadays, you don't see that padlock sign because the ones that are not secure are not around anymore. But if you're not sure, if you just go up there and try and edit the line, you'll see the beginning of it. If you don't see the S, then don't make any payment on
Or
that.
just touch on that. So I want you to feel secure. If you don't feel secure, then don't stay on the website because there's no point. The whole reason that you're shopping is that you want to be on a site that you have confidence. You can always call up the company if it's the first time that you've been using that company. I've done that before for sort of gardening information. Okay, any questions before we have a well-deserved break? Yeah,
It's not a question, it's just something that might help other people.
yeah, everybody hear Bruce?
Yes.
Yeah, stand by. So I order a lot of food from Sainsbury's, and like a lot of canned food, kidney beans and tuna fish and soup. And you have the opportunity, like you order, say, 10 cans of tomato soup. And unless you go into the system, if that particular type of soup isn't available, they'll send you what they call a substitute. Now, if you particularly like, Heinz tomato soup, and you won't accept a substitute, you can go into the system and say, put across, accept no substitute. So they'll send you everything else, but if they haven't got the Heinz tomato soup, they won't send you, they can't send you because they're out of it, but they won't send you a substitute.
Yeah.
Now the first time that happened a few years ago, I ordered a particular type of tuna fish, and I didn't know to press the button to say, accept no substitute, and I got 10 cans of a particular type of tuna fish that I didn't like. Now, If I'd been quicker off the mark, when the bloke was delivering it, I could have examined the package, which you can do, and if you say, oh, that's not the tuna fish I ordered, he'll take it back and you won't be charged for it. But at the time, I had so many bags that I wasn't going to stand there going through, looking for every single thing. But the point is, you need to be aware when you're ordering food, just to make sure that, it could be you're happy to accept any kind of tuna fish or any kind of tomato soup. But if you want a particular one, you need to go into the system and say, accept no substitute. So just be aware of that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And one other tip as well, when you're food shopping, is to be very aware of the quantities. Because I remember the first time I did food shopping, I wanted 1 banana and I got 1 kilo of bananas.
I did that with courgettes. I wanted 3 courgettes and I got 3 packets.
So and also the sizes, if you want, look at ketchup, you'll want that size, not that size, you have to be aware.
But from my experience with Sainsbury's, as Bruce is talking about, it's clear that you're allowing substitutions. If you allow a substitution and it's more expensive, the product that comes to the door, you will be charged at the lower price. So sometimes it's been like, woo, win-win, I've got a higher value product. And they will then refund you the money within 48 hours. You also have the option with all of these online food deliveries to say, I'm sorry, that's not what I thought it was going to be. The driver will take it back and you're automatically credited. So it's there to make an experience. So if something is close to a sell-by date, they need to tell you it's only got 1 or 2 more, 3 days, and you have that option to take it or to say no thank you to the driver. So
and both those points about quantities and the type of thing you get, remember when you're shopping in the shop and you're walking up and down the aisles, you can pick up a bottle and you can see if it's the right size and such. You can get a picture of a ketchup bottle. The big one and the little one look identical. The one's a lot bigger than the other in real life. So you've got to be really careful about reading what the quantities are, and to check the prices or you'd expect it to be. Same with the brand. When you're walking in the supermarket, you pick the brand you like. If it's not there, you'll come back another day. When you're online, they will automatically substitute a product for you. Again, it's your choice. It's your choice. But you have to have your wits about you.
Yeah.
And say if your shopping basket, so you can save what you go back to all the time. So say you always buy
regular things.
Your favourites.
Yes, will come out under your favourites, so you don't have to search for them again. So.
And the other thing, I ordered some stuff from Sainsbury's yesterday online, and it only came to £22. And then I got a message, minimum buy £25. So I thought, okay, well, I'll buy something that costs £3 that I don't need now. As it happened, I bought a bag of Irish porridge. So that keeps, I will be using it, but I don't know what the minimum spend on Tesco's or Waitrose is.
There'll be a minimum spend, so you don't pay it.
I think it used to be £40 for Sainsbury's, it's come down.
Has it come down? And it's all kind of practice, and we're sharing really good experience. We've all had a howler come to the door, where you look and think, oh my goodness, I did not want that. And the look on your face is clear to the driver, and they'll say, you don't want this, do you? And it's a whole crate of something that you think, oh my God. So they do have a really good sense of humor, is what I found. But everybody will have their favorites. So thank you. That's a great session. Let's stop for a break.